It's been 28 years since the Sanderson sisters worked their magic on the silver screen, and tonight we're going behind the scenes with some known and unknown facts about this cult classic.
Hello.
Hocus Pocus follows three sister witches from the 1600s, brought back to life on All Hallows Eve by a teenage virgin. I mean, boy.
Stupid cat!
So, who are these witches? Let's dig a little deeper, shall we?
Oh, come on. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
The sisters.
Started off with the idea that we wanted to have a sort of female Three Stooges.
It was great fun to watch this sort of tornado happen when they were in a room together. I mean, the energy was incredible.
They beat each other up and they called each other names, and we wanted to have sort of that dynamic because you don't really get to see that among women.
It has been said that the sisters' mother had a good time around Salem, which is why all the sisters have different fathers.
Winifred, Sarah, and Mary have three different fathers, and my father was the village idiot, but we all have a mother who we adore. And that's the only thing that is common among us.
Winifred Sanderson was the daughter of a warlock, hence why she's the leader of the three.
Come! We fly!
We would have these meetings where we talked about Winifred with Bet. We would physicalize her.
Spent a lot of time just trying to figure out what she was going to look like. I thought because she was so very vain, she had serious makeup, which was very white except for two little cheeks, and then like a little rosebud mouth. That was important because I wanted her to have teeth, because basically she was a flesh eater, but it also gave her a very kind of cuckoo appearance. And the hair I took from Elizabeth I of England. As far as the hair and the actual face, that was the first time that I ever really said, no, that this is it. This is how it's gonna be.
She has the power of electrokinesis. Mary Sanderson, the middle sister, is the daughter of a bloodhound.
Wait a damn minute.
Which is why she can sniff out children.
Really? Yeah.
I smell children.
Kathy Najimy, she was a big fan of mine. First time she came on the set, she showed me these pictures of her as a teenager, ringing my doorbell in New York City and leaving me notes about wanting to become a performer.
Mary, she's a big kiss ass, first of all, which was great because I got to take the nervousness that I had for standing next to Bette Midler and really just sort of magnify it and make it funny. My function in the trio is that I sniff out the kids. We made the decision to make her half hound dog.
I smell children, but I don't see children.
Which is really great because I get to do, stuff like this, and I get to go and bark and, do all those funny dog things.
She's also the most observant of the three.
I smell. Winnie, I smell. I smell scrod. Scrod, yeah, it's a bottom dweller. You cook it sometimes with lovely breadcrumbs, a little bit of margarine, or oil. I'll boil it good when you have to cook it 350 degrees. It tastes really.
And then we have Sarah Sanderson, the youngest sister whose father was known as the village idiot.
All Hallows Eve has become a night of frolic, where children wear costumes and run amok. Amok.
Never would have guessed.
Sarah Sanderson is very odd. She's truly the most peculiar character I've ever played.
Sarah was developed more on her feet.
She's very seductive, and she's completely unedited.
Farewell! Maybe next time!
And she's just awful, and I just love her.
Needless to say, she is the dumbest of the three. However, she is the most beautiful.
I am beautiful. Boys will love me.
She also has a siren-like ability that she used to lure children to the Sanderson home.
Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment.
The production. The script was started by Mick Garris and was bought by Walt Disney Pictures in 1984.
Hocus Pocus started as a bedtime story for our two daughters. So originally it was called Disney's Halloween House.
Tis time!
And my wife said, you should do something with this.
The film was also intended to be a Disney Channel original movie, but when the higher-ups saw the script, they felt it was strong enough for a theatrical release with well-known actors. Steven Spielberg almost directed the film, but once he learned Disney was involved, he dropped out, leaving it to Kenny Ortega to take the reins.
Disney contacted me and asked if I would come in to meet with Jeffrey Katzenberg, and I was invited to direct Newsies.
Kenny had done Newsies for Disney. He and I met, and I mean, he's somebody you just fall in love with.
Eventually, the film was shown in theaters in July of 1993, instead of a time closer to Halloween, and battled Jurassic Park in the box office.
In this group of people, we all talk. And I honestly feel like you knew exactly what you were doing.
Disney was also releasing The Nightmare Before Christmas in October, so they didn't want the two films to compete. The sets.
The most beautiful set, the most beautiful house that the witches lived in.
Bill Sandell said, I hear that you might be doing this film, Hocus Pocus. I've known about it for 5 years. I'm a Halloween freak, which I already knew. And he said, please do it, and please pick me.
After, studying the architecture of what actually went on in Salem, we felt that we could then extrapolate.
Once the house started going up, all of us would take little visits, and Bet would ask for a little something, or Kathy would ask for a little something. And so it reflects sort of their needs and my needs and Bill's fantasies. And we spent 5 weeks there, and I could have spent another 5 and still not have shot it all. That's the wonderful thing about Bill, so many levels to his work.
It's a real house. No, there's no doubt about it. You could take that house and stick it on a hill somewhere and live in it, which I'd love to do.
Although most of the film was shot on California sound stages, its daytime scenes were filmed in Salem and Marblehead, Massachusetts during 2 weeks of filming with the principal cast.
There's a whole montage of me back when we were in Salem running through forest. It was so thick you couldn't move, and I was running full speed through this, and this cross got caught on something and tore, and it was like in the forest, so they couldn't find it, and the prop guy was just going, oh man, it was like a nightmare. So he broke 2 twigs off of a tree and he glued them on together like that. So at the beginning of the movie, like, it's a real neat cross, and then later on in the movie, it's like all jacked, it's a twig. There's like a big ball of glue holding it together.
Production for the film was completed on February 10th, 1993. The budget was tight. Costume designer Mary Vaught talked about how almost all of the budget was used on the Sanderson sisters' outfits. When it came to the Halloween party scene, Disney reused costumes, and Vaught had to DIY some costumes, including the ones worn by the parents in the film.
I can't. This is the most ghetto shit I've ever seen in my life.
The Sanderson sisters were originally the main characters. Kathy Najimy, who played Mary Sanderson, revealed that the movie was cut and edited completely different than it was filmed. Najimy says there were as many as 5 huge scenes with the witches that never made the movie.
Where? Where are they?
She also said that Disney decided that the movie should be more family and kid-friendly, so they made the story revolve around the kids just as much, if not more, than the witches. Here's just a few of those deleted scenes I was able to find.
Oh, did I leave the cauldron burning?
I don't know.
Would you mind just running in and checking the cauldron?
Evil woman.
Has no heart! You're right, I'm wrong.
Blabs are fat-mouthed about my personal stuff, and I'm supposed to take her trick-or-treating? Forget it, Dad.
Oh, okay. We'll forget it. Since you're not big enough to show your little sister a good time, I guess you're probably not big enough to get your driver's permit this year.
Oh, unfair. Totally unfair.
Life is give and take, Max. It isn't always fair. Look at this place. It's a paradise. Come on. That's what we've given them, a paradise. No earthquakes, no smog.
Yeah, no mudslides.
That's right. The only thing we have to worry about here is witches.
Witches. Witches, that's funny.
Come on.
Ladies. This is a magic bus, but I do need a token or its financial equivalent. Por favor.
Perhaps you would care for a small token of my affection.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that?
Okay, James.
All of the singing was done by the actors. With the success of Kenny Ortega's first film, Newsies, he decided that Hocus Pocus needed that magic touch.
Kenny comes from choreography, so his directing is always staged, whether it's the actors moving or the camera moving.
For those three witches, it is about movement, and there's a lot of timing involved. We did a lot of counting, we did things on the beat, and people don't usually do that in films. Most people are very naturalistic in their behavior, but he didn't want naturalism. He wanted it to be very stylish. So he was counting behind the camera, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn on 5, and step, 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 walk, beat, make a gesture.
Boom, shot.
It was all very dance-oriented.
Bette, Sarah, and Kathy all put their talents to the test and gave us one of the most classic songs in film history.
I put a spell on you, and now you're gone.
In this scene, you also hear references from Bette Midler's performance in Gypsy. Flying high.
90% of the flying in this film is the actual actress.
Into the night! I had never flown before. I thought it was going to be really easy, but it wasn't easy. It hurt like hell.
I love to fly. I love it. And not everybody feels the same way, but I could hang in my harness for hours and no one seems to understand it. I read a whole script hanging in my harness the other day. I hate when they send me home from flying.
It was very, very hard because you had to hold on to that broom and make all these gestures and carry on and act at the same time. It was really tough.
It's over there.
It's over where? It's over there!
No, to your left more. There you go.
We're about to fly. Every time we fly, it's really great, except for when they ran Sarah into a tree once. Did she bring that up?
Choreographer Peggy Holmes had a pretty interesting way to prepare for the broom flying scenes. To make sure all the sisters had their own unique flying style, she actually drove around with them. Najimy recalls that day and said, Sarah was like very front forward, so she would hold it close. I was very 10 and 2 while I was driving, so Peggy was like, that's how you'll fly. It's all about attention to detail. Doug Jones had real moths in his mouth. It wasn't CGI, it wasn't any special effect. Bill the Zombie had real moths flying out of his mouth. Someone actually set moths on his tongue so he could cough them out during the scene.
For the sequences where his stitches are cut, we actually have a mouth insert that goes into his mouth that has 2 reservoirs in it. One holds dust and dirt, and the other holds 3 live moths. Doug really enjoyed testing this particular piece of machinery.
So you want to be an actor? Here, shove some insects in your mouth. It's like, have you ever had a dental impression done before? It's like wearing one of those all the time and having it flip on your tongue. They put the moths in, and they go in your mouth.
Action! Cut. Yeah!
Sarah Jessica Parker also admitted to eating a real spider.
Therefore, it stands to reason, does it not, sisters dear? You explained it beautifully, Winnie, the way you sort of started out with the adventure part and then you sort of slowly...
Explain what?
Jones wasn't the only one committed to the craft. Get it? Get it?
Ha ha, laugh, funny. That's funny? To me, it's funny. Yeah, do you have a sense of humor?
Doug Jones improvised Billy the Zombie's lines. After Jones finally cut his mouth open, according to the script, he was supposed to call Winnie a bad word. However, Jones was not comfortable with this. He said, I told Kenny Ortega I'm not comfortable just throwing the B word out when our audience is going to be kids expecting a happy Disney movie. So he got a little creative.
Wench. Trollop, you buck-toothed, moth-riding firefly from hell! I've waited centuries to say that.
Bette Midler's cursing was improvised. Between
Get off me, you thundering oaf!
And
You maggoty mouth pieces!
Bette's extensive vocabulary grew. It was revealed during a D23 and Creatures Features panel that Midler would have assistants follow her around set with dictionaries of old curse words.
Do you see how that's incredibly offensive?
Yes, I do. That's why I said it.
Billy Butcherson originally had an entire dance sequence. When Doug Jones auditioned for the role of Billy Butcherson, he remembers doing it at a dance studio.
This is terribly uncomfortable.
Apparently, there's also a Billy the Zombie dance scene that didn't quite make the final cut of the film.
Yes!
Oops, it's been cancelled.
The reception. The film received mixed to negative reviews from film critics, though the reception has gradually improved. Today, it is seen as a cult classic. Ty Burr of Entertainment Weekly gave the film a C-, calling it acceptable, scary, silly kid fodder that adults will find only mildly insulting, unless they're Bette Midler fans, in which case, it's depressing as hell. Gene Siskel from the Chicago Tribune remarked that the film was a dreadful witches comedy, with the only tolerable moment coming from when Bette Midler presents a single song.
You die first.
The film was not successful at the box office. It said the reason why Hocus Pocus wasn't a huge success in theaters is due to its competition against other movies released in the summer of 1993, such as Jurassic Park, Free Willy, and Disney putting a lot of their marketing focus on the re-release of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Girl, what's going on?
The film was released to VHS on January 5th, 1994.
The Sanderson witches are flying into town. And now everyone's in for a real treat. Winnie's the wickedest, Sarah's the sexiest,
Would thou dance with me?
and Mary's the hungriest.
No time for snacking.
They're here to have some fun and practice a little witchcraft. If they could only get it right.
She did it.
Hocus Pocus on video cassette.
And later to DVD on June 4th, 2002. Following the film's release on DVD, it continued to show strong annual sales, ranking in more than $1 million in DVD sales each October.
I am rich, bitch. I am rich, bitch.
Everybody knows.
Whoosh! I am rich, bitch.
Donald Trump. Whoosh! I am rich, bitch. Cash money. Big time. I know that's right.
In October 2020, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Hocus Pocus was re-released in around 2,000 theaters, making $1.9 million over the weekend and finishing second behind Tenet.
Perfect. As usual.
The legacy. Despite having mixed reviews upon release, Hocus Pocus has made its place in film history. Bette Midler has even been quoted as saying that Hocus Pocus was the most fun I'd had in my career up to that point.
The reason I love Halloween so much is because I made possibly the greatest Halloween movie ever. I mean, there are only 6 of them, and mine, I think, is at least number 1 or number 2.
Right.
It was Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Which they play incessantly, which I feel is my finest hour. I feel it's my finest hour, and I brought along my teeth.
Yeah.
Because...
Nah. Wow.
They were the cornerstone of my character.
The city of Salem has also celebrated its connection to Hocus Pocus, as local filming sites have become an attraction for fans. Over the years, the film has achieved annual high ratings on Freeform's 31 Nights of Halloween. And in 2018, the cast and crew reunited to celebrate on October 2nd for the Hocus Pocus 25th Anniversary Halloween Bash. The special was hosted by Jordan Fisher and Vanessa Hudgens. The cast also reunited for In Search of the Sanderson Sisters, a Hocus Pocus Halloween takeover, which aired on October 30th, 2020.
Sister Sarah. Oh, Disney. I'm about ready to wreak havoc.
The 1-hour broadcast was virtual due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and all the proceeds went to the New York Restoration Project.
I got news for you, girl. Halloween's nearly over, so scat! It's my turn now. Get out. Anyway.
The future of Hocus Pocus.
Tell me, Dumpling. What is the year?
As of the recording of this video, Hocus Pocus 2 is set to arrive on Disney Plus in 2022.
Sister, observe. Behold it. Just when our time was running out.
On May 20th, 2021, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy confirmed their return to the roles of the Sanderson sisters, and Disney Plus confirmed production for the sequel.
We fly.
The movie started production this fall, so a Halloween or October release in 2022 seems likely.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
Oh, it looks amazing.
According to the press release, the plot of the sequel is focused on 3 young women who accidentally bring the Sanderson sisters back to the modern-day Salem and must figure out how to stop the child-hungry witches from wreaking a new havoc on the world.
Now hold on now.
But aside from the plot point, details for the sequel are few and far between.
Damn, double damn, boom.
Hocus Pocus will forever live on as one of Disney's most popular cult classic films. I can say I've seen this film over 100 times, and I still laugh and do my best impressions every time.
What a clever little white bitch.
What are some of your favorite memories from Hocus Pocus? Leave a comment down below.
So let's talk. We want to hear from you. Come on, give it a try.
And remember, be kind, rewind, and I'll see you next time. Happy Halloween.
Good night. Sleep tight. No screaming.